Hey, Logan. I know you were probably expecting me to do a part two of the books that I read this summer, but the last couple books that I want to talk about are kind of a similar theme, so I'm just going to leave that for another time. And instead, I'm going to respond to what you said this Monday. It's kind of interesting the time of life that we're in, because for you, that means saying one last time to a lot of things that you've grown up with, things that you're used to. But for me, it's kind of the opposite. And for the first time in my own life, I'm not saying that. It's a unique experience for me coming back to the university that I know and love with a new phase of life in front of me. And it made me realize that I kind of have a hard time continuing where I left off. So I grew up as a missionary kid. I'm not going to say where because I might mention it later and it's not important right now. But what that meant is that I said goodbye to people all the time. I was dealt with transition every few years. I would change schools, change homes, change languages, change countries sometimes. So I got really used to transitioning and remaking myself every single time I came to a new place. And so the idea of transitioning but keeping some of the things behind is actually more terrifying to me. Like the idea that I won't get to make all new friends, find all new interests, and create a new life for myself. Because when you're used to transitions, the hard part is staying in touch with the person you were. And there are a lot of people, interests, habits, places, routines that are being carried over from my undergrad degree to this one. And for once, I don't really know how to handle that transition. It's kind of an unsettling feeling for me saying hi to people as I walk past, but realizing that I'm kind of not a part of the crowd anymore. I'm like a foreigner coming back, experiencing culture shock all over again. And of course, none of that is helped by the fact that I'm in an incredibly busy graduate degree where I'm also working. And it's completely unrelated to my undergrad. So technically I'm having to get to know new people, but I don't really feel like doing so because it's not a necessary step anymore for me to get used to my new context. So the thing that I would say to you, Logan, is keep pursuing the new. Keep in touch with the things that you liked about yourself before, because this is a chance for you to discard the things that you didn't like. They're always going to be there, and you're not going to be able to change immediately. Find the joy in the transition, because from this point onward, a lot of things in our lives are going to be kind of consistent and unchanging. There's a reason that some people stay at a job for 40 years at a time. I know many people who grew up in the same town that they live in now, 60 years later. And I'm kind of scared of that idea. Change is something that we're all going to experience at some point or another in our lives. And I choose typically to observe change with an idea of, this is a chance for me to change myself. This is a chance for me to move on from who I was and to break out of old habits. So Logan, thanks for making the video that you did. It's been 117 days since we graduated, but of course, don't just count your days, live them.